Good evening, this is Kuro. Got a tier 10 game in my gearing, going over the matchmaking, looking at an enemy midway. Radar threats are Wooster, I think that Wooster, Buffalo, Destroyers, Gearing, Grozavoy. Everything else is pretty much food. And this game is going to be a pretty good representation of playing for cap control. This is something that if you hear people talk on the forums, they act like this is suicide. This is, a dead practice. Um, this game, I'm going to show you how to do it the right way. And, we're gonna push in here up to C-cap. The map is Trap. And right off the bat, I've got a Des Moines and a Wooster. However, the Des Moines, for whatever reason, is running spotter plane and is pretty much not going to be of any use to me in the traditional Des Moines sense. So he's telling me that he's going to basically be on the back line and be sniping in a Des Moines. So I don't have the highest of hopes at the moment. What I do have is a really nasty random build on this. This destroyer, it's 23. I think this is Ovechkin on it. Maybe. Um, yeah, this is Ovechkin. Um, and it's, just a superintendent RPF, competitive captain that I use for a ton of different stuff now. I'd even bring something like this to King of the Sea. Um, Actually, this configuration I would run in King of the Sea, with the exception of the torpedoes. And the torpedoes, I'm running the 10.5s, simply because I don't need torpedoes that need 16 kilometers of range. I would much rather have, you know, the the quicker reloading torps with more alpha damage, and it's simply that I'm just, that's my play style. I am a destroyer player that I am not afraid to get in close and mix it up with people. And for me, the difference between the torpedoes, it it's everything that I don't like. I don't care about, not being able to torp from beyond radar range for like a Moskva or something. Honestly, if I'm planning on torping that far, I'm doing it wrong. That's just my opinion. There are some, you know, even in clan battles and stuff like that, there's ways to, sneak in, close with the enemy, and get a pretty good shot off. Now here,
Charging battery.
excuse me, I'm charging my headset because I've been doing multiple videos today. Um, and I just got done with clan battles. Um, this Grozavoy's up in the cap, and he's just been smoked up too long. And you can't give a guy like me multiple cracks at you in the smoke. It's just not worth it. I'm trying to decide, is this guy, leaving the smoke? So I basically split the torpedo spread, and I launch one thinking that he might be angling away and just trying to sit in the edge of the cap right here, and then I launch another one right into basically the belly of his smoke. And by coming up here, I'm getting a sharper angle on him. If he's angling or something like that, I've basically changed, the angle of attack, and it catches him. And that's just it sucks for him, but you can't do that in a destroyer. You really can't. Now I almost had a misplay there. Had my AA turned on, so you got to remember to check that when you load into the game. Unfortunately, it won't default to turned off. This Kurfürst, he's low health. Why would you turn into the cap? You know, you could just as easily turn out and kite out and repair up. You know, you got all those repairs on that ship. You're a giant tanky battleship. You know, I'm not gonna push into, you know, Worcester radar range to smoke you up because you're just gonna die. And on the flip side, I'm not going to pop the defensive fire here because there's a Worcester here, there's a Kurfürst here. I might need my defensive fire because where I'm headed, I'm headed for BCAP, and I'm looking at my team, and my team is giving up this end of the map, and they seem to be rotating and doing the we're gonna push the enemies.
Charging battery.
We're gonna be pushing
Charge complete.
Why, thank you. Jesus. It's looking. Wow. What the hell was that? Sorry, my computer's possessed right now. If you don't hear from me, send a goddamn priest. Excuse me. But, anyway, it's looking to me like my team is getting ready to do the old, hey, let's just push right into the enemy spawn. Now, I don't like what I'm seeing here where my team's just giving up B cap, and I'm gonna jump in this cap and I'm gonna contest it again. Now, a little tricky play here. This Yamato, he's following the Montana. If you've watched other videos, you know that I have a tendency to torp the target that's following the lead ship because they will be less aware. They'll feel more safe, more secure. They're less apt to, you know, maneuver and things like that. So what I'm doing here, I'm getting ready to reverse into the cap. And then I make the spot on the Worcester, and that's telling me, you know what, I'm calling target on the Worcester. I'm literally at this point 200 meters from his radar range, and it's not really a place that I want to be. Fortunately, he is kiting out, and I am doing some spotting for the team at the moment. Nice little picture of those torpedoes smacking the Yamato. And I'm looking, the Worcester's kiting out. That's giving me some room to turn around and reapproach B cap. I don't want these guys to cap it. You know, this game is still pretty close, and I'm not entirely confident that my team's going to get back around to B cap in time to get this thing capped if, you know, my team's sitting here and Kurfürst, yeah, sure thing, buddy. I just noticed that in the chat. But with the route that my team's taking, it's going to take them an exceptionally long period of time to get into B cap. And that means they're going to be gaining points while, you know, my team's just trying to, you know, do their thing. The flip side is the enemy team's doing the same damn thing. So this shows a fundamental misunderstanding of how this map is played. And I am going to exploit this. Now, I want to talk about this for a moment. Okay, this Yamato, I've scared this Yamato off after torping him. He's just kiting out. He's not really going to be, not really have much impact in the game for quite a while. And here I'm just biding my time. I'm literally pinning down a tier 10 battleship that he does have some shots, but he's not really in a place where he's going to be super effective. And I mean, this poor tier 10 battleship, he's trying to pin down the cap, and look where their destroyers. Why isn't this destroyer in here trying to root me out for the battleship? You know, that's a fundamental misplay. That's a destroyer player that's ignoring objectives and you know, pushing through the enemy spawn. You never want to push through the spawn on this map. Push right into the cap if you're a destroyer. Your cruisers and things like that, the middle of the cap is generally a bad place to be unless you're pushing in there to kill what's in there. But you don't want to be, you know, a cruiser or a battleship and the first one committing in there, because there's so many avenues to shoot in there from concealment or from cover. It's just a shooting gallery in here. Destroyers, mix it up in here to your heart's content, and you should. So from my perspective, I'm going to slip over here and I'm going to use this gap. This is a newer change in this map. If you've played this map for years, we didn't used to have openings in these islands. It used to be almost completely sheltered, aside from, you know, these openings here and the opening here, and it really was like a death trap. If you got in there, you likely weren't getting out if it was contested. So I'm basically going to slip in here and take up a position. I've got a big push coming through here that I'm looking to see if I can take advantage of, and at the same time tie up this Montana. Soon as this Wooster goes down, he's going to lose spotting here, and he's going to be able to do less and less over there. And in the meantime, I'm just sitting here and I'm just waiting. Because this is going to be pretty nice positions once these guys get up here. I see the Montana looks like he's bailing. I thought he might be trying to leave the cap, so I just threw one set of torpedoes out there. That does kind of suck that he doesn't actually leave the cap. I see shots coming in on him. My team finally resets him, and that's giving me the opportunity to step off cap and start working on some of these guys. So my team's finally starting to arrive at in an area where they can start, you know, helping at BCAP. Now, I'm basically laying a nice slow smoke screen, and you're going to see me stretch this smoke out. I'm just going, you know, 1/4 speed, and I'm just going to creep this smoke screen out and give myself a nice little, you know, envelope here to work with. I'm working on this this Kurfürst initially, and I switch targets on this Montana to dump a set of torps. I was anticipating him on pushing sharper in with this Montana pushing in. And I go back just to shooting this Kurfürst. I just want this Montana to sit there and cook with the torpedoes in the water. Unfortunately, this Montana actually turns to give broadside to these ships, and he's going to end up dodging my torps. I do go on ahead, line up the next set of torps. Now I go on ahead and I switch to AP here, and I'm switching to AP because I'm having shit for RNG shooting these battleships. They are tier 10 battleships. They're hardest ships to pretty much light a fire on in the game. AP don't care. I've got their broadside, especially this Montana, and I'm just gonna go to town on this guy. The Buffalo's pushed in with radar, but I'm basically just gonna play like a little Des Moines. I'm gonna sit here on this island rock, and every time this battleship goes to look at me, I'm just gonna reverse in there a little deeper. This is standard U.S. destroyer play, using, you know, your shell arcs to do things that no other ship can in the game, really. Maybe the Royal Navy lighter guns. What are they? 114s. on Jutland and Daring. Uh, they can do some stuff like that. Um, Now here, still not letting this battleship cap. He's finally had enough. He's getting ready to poke out, and I'm gonna skedaddle. Now I do make a misplay here. I'm looking, and I'm looking too small, and I make a common mistake of, you know, what do I see here? Okay, I see a battleship here that's not really doing much. I see a Montana pushing this corner here. Really, the target that would be interesting would be to torp this Montana back here. If I could go back and take this torpedo spread, I would see if I could dump it on this guy, because this guy is going to not expect torpedoes at all. Um, and if he's pushing up in this direction, the indicator's somewhere in here, so I might be able to sneak torps right in through here. So just a little what if scenario here. I could have maybe done quite a bit of damage here. And honestly, should have just went on ahead and dumped both sets of torps on this guy. Um, this guy turned sharper in than I expected. Honestly, with as low HP as he is, he gets hit pretty good, so I know he's going to be going down. I'm just going to kite back and just keep using HE on this guy. Try to get the superstructure so I actually get some damage rather than shatters. Actually, those torpedoes would have hit. So again, not going to beat around the bush. We've secured BCAP, and I'm basically just going to push in here. I know this game's coming to a quick close, so I'm going to start getting more and more aggressive as this game continues. I've got some HP to trade, and I'm looking to you know, deal some damage. This Montana is running away. Why, I don't know. I mean, they're down to the wire. Kerfurs pokes up, perfectly willing to take this hit, perfectly willing to get hydroed. I've got an island up here that if I need to get safe, I can. I'm gonna throw one set of torps out. I know his hydro's down right now, but I expect there it is. So when he sees these torps, he's going to turn in, and that's gonna set up my next set of torps, where you'll see it right here, where follow the indicator. When he sees these torps, he's going to turn this way. That's going to move the indicator this way. You take the amount of time that it took in between these torps. He locks his rudder all the way over to make this turn. His rudder has to come all the way back to try to start turning back this way. He had repaired one fire already. So this was basically a situation that these torpedoes I'm launching now could be permanent flooding if I am lucky and get some decent RNG with flooding. Just gonna keep working on this guy. Unfortunately, this game's gonna end just after I land this torp. Torpedo hit on the bow. That tells me that his damage control was still active. But you know, it is what it is. I mean, this game is a pretty good game. XP wise, it's not all that amazing because I only killed one DD. But 8 torpedo hits, bunch of shell hits. I mean, it's a gearing game. You know, this is gearing, you know, 101 kind of lesson here. So yeah, 158 hits, 1 fire. Yeah, thanks game. Could have done a lot better. Might have been able to break 200 if I'd have had some better fire chance this game. So anyway, here's another game in gearing. She's a ship that, you know, a lot of people seem to think that she's been power creeped. I assure you, gearing is as alive and well as she's ever been. The new options with the Fletcher torpedoes are fantastic for random battles, um, and even something that I would consider running in clan battles to kill destroyers, um, that kind of thing. Uh, I'm personally I'm not opposed to baiting radar and then once radar is on cooldown, going and getting a good torpedo shot off. Um, in my experience, trying to torp from beyond 12 kilometers is really hit or miss unless you can really saturate an area like you can with Shimakaze. Um, but even on my Shima, I typically only run 12-kilometer torps even in clan battles. So anyway, gonna cut this one off. Hope you guys enjoyed this game. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them below, and I will talk to you later. Have a good night.